If you ever played or participated in any discussion about fear and hunger, I bet you heard at least one of these statements. You need to be lucky with the loot you get to proceed, or game is bad because if you miss one attack, you get destroyed. While on one side it's understandable that missing one attack or that looting only dirt may be annoying or even frustrating for new players, the thing I always wanted to prove with my guides, with my tier lists, with my challenge runs, is that Fear and Hunger offers a lot of non-random ways to get great stuff. The best weapons of the game, soulstones, empty scrolls even. And that's when I realized, is a run that does not use any item that is not 100% guaranteed, and where all attacks that can miss will miss possible? Welcome, I'm Frapollo94, and today I want to attempt even more than knowledge is everything in the game. This is the first challenge run I do outside of stream, and you will realize why later. But now, come with me inside of the dungeon of Fear and Hunger! Let's get done quickly with the rules so we can actually start. Are you ready? The rules are divided into two categories. The first one is loot rules. If there is a loot pool that involves randomness, we won't use it. Example, the crates give you a random item, we can't use them. The food barrels give you a random food, we can't use them. Bookshelves? Nah. Chests with a coin flip? No. The guard loot, which can be either a meat cleaver or meat pie or arms, we can't use that. Another example, the cave dweller vendor in the cave dweller village has one of two possible list of items. We can't use that. We can only loot stuff where the loot you get is 100% always the same. And then we have the battle rules. First of all, you cannot escape from a battle unless the escape chance is 100%. Then, if an enemy does a coin flip attack, in that case we will always fail the coin flip. And now let's address the elephant in the room with the last part of this. If one of our attacks can miss, then it will miss. Let me precise something about this. In case you don't know, all characters have a physical accuracy of 97%, which means that, automatically, all our physical attacks will always fail, and so we can't use it. That's right, no Eastern Sword, no Blue Sin, no Circle Spear, nothing. And in case you're wondering, how do we deal damage? Beats me! The difficulty is Terror and Starvation, and we want to try to get all the possible endings that are not in hard mode. Let me know in the comments if you want me to try to do the same with the hard mode endings, of course. And that's basically it. I know there is still something left to randomness with these rules, for example the possibility for opponents to miss attacks, or you may argue that the phobia you start with may be relevant, or that, I don't know, sometimes Cave Dweller Village is massacred and sometimes isn't, but I don't care. This is my challenge, these things won't be changed. If they go in one way, that's fine, if they go in the other way, that's fine too. And now, let's start! I thought for a long time about which character should we start as, and after some moments of reflection, this is what I said. I think I decided I'm gonna play as Darcy, because Ragnavaldr... we will only play as Ragnavaldr during his Hes ending. Kahara may be relevant for the steal items, but there are not so many guaranteed steal items in the game. There is the Scroll of Fencing, there is the Book of Enlightenment from the Priests, there is the Elixir of Mind from Yellow Lizard Mage, but that's really it. On the other hand, in the way I'm figuring the run in my head, I think if we don't take Darcy, she's gonna die. Retroactively, this was maybe not the best idea. For some reasons, Kahara could have been a better pick, but still Darcy is an inherent fast attack user, that's why I love her. Now, are you ready for the first trick up my sleeve? We're gonna name our character Set D. In case you don't know, in an old update, the developer included new layouts of already existing zones, and if you wanted to access them quickly, you should have named your character Set D. Well, this feature was never removed, so doing it even right now in your own game is gonna cause this to happen, and we are doing this for a very specific reason which is gonna come out later on. During the intro we get fast stance, we get dash, but we don't get the spear with arm guards, we get the longsword with leg guards, the reason for which you will understand only later. And I... Instinctively, I was already going to the crates to loot. This challenge is gonna be a nightmare. The first thing to do is to gather some supplies that are guaranteed. For example, the mushrooms in the basement, the green herbs, the blue herbs, the red herbs, everything you can find. And as I said in game, remember, if we enter into a battle right now, we are dead. Because remember, for now we cannot deal damage to opponents. Our attacks are all gonna fail, basically. Let's grit Sir Seymour, remembering we cannot loot anything in this room, basically making it pointless. And then quickly make our way to the prisons. Also, I'ma pause the game several times for long periods, because in these moments I am thinking about what to do and trying to think about the most optimal way to do stuff without wasting torches, because in the future you will see how important torches are in this challenge. In case you don't know, I've been standing here for 10 minutes. I've been thinking if it's better to go to Torture Chamber or immediately to the mines and maybe later to Torture Chamber. Okay, I decided, we go immediately down to the Cave Dweller village. You will understand why later. But then, of course, my instinct prevailed on my brain, and I looted something. Okay, guys, I promise, I did this instinctively. I accidentally looted up... Reset the game! Better now than later, at least. You know, it's difficult to describe this feeling. I feel like I have to loot stuff. Not looting stuff is very difficult. I have the impulse to click on the crates. I think this is due to muscle memory. I mean, I got so used to click crates during my challenge runs that now I cannot not click crates. You know what I mean? And just like that, we're back to the mines. In this confirmation in particular, we're able to skip the battle with the Cave Mother and take the Soulstone regardless. There is a good amount of Soulstones available guaranteed, but for the amount of stuff we need to do with them, they're gonna be barely enough. But for the rest, the mines aren't so dangerous. For now. I mean, the Night Lurch still didn't spawn, we're able to skip the Yellow Mage easy. So, the reason for which I wanted to rush to this place is because here there is a way to get a lesser soul without killing anyone. That's right, because there is one specific cave dweller where, after you talk to them, they're gonna get killed by the other cave dwellers. I guess it's because it's one of their laws that they cannot interact with outsiders, so that cave dweller just broke the law, technically. But it doesn't matter, because not only we can collect a soulstone in this place, but we can also get a lesser soul from this corpse. And at last take the rope and the cube to enrage the whole community of cave dwellers. Also, by this point I was starting to feel like the food wasn't gonna be enough. I only have 12 mushrooms, and I don't know how many more I'm gonna find. And for that reason I decided to not do the wolf masks for now. I'm gonna keep them for later. It's funny, it's the first time in all my runs after the first blind run, of course, in which I actually care about sparing food. That feeling that I was perceiving in that moment is the whole reason for which I love challenge runs of this game. Each one makes you adopt a completely different playstyle. You may end up using stuff you would normally never even touch. As an example, those mushrooms, I have never taken them after my blind run, because it was just too easy to get food. Now instead, they are an invaluable resource. But so I reached the level 7 basement, ready to take Legard and get the first ending. Easy, right? Perfect! What a fantastic first attempt. Fantastic. Well, it's time to redo everything again one more time! And after almost entering into a battle with the Crow Mauler, we were back at level 7 basement. And we were finally able to take Legard. After a quick break in the basement in order to save, we were finally able to escape from this stupid dungeon. Ending E obtained. And alright, that's the end of the video. There is nothing else to do, right? We're good. Oh, there are more endings in this game? Yeah, it was time to reload the save file because we have more stuff to do. And I made a realization in this moment. The problem is, we are not even into Mahabre and we only have 5 torches. Yes, only 5 torches and the potential to get more is basically 0. We won't even be able to craft torches because while you can find guaranteed cloth fragment and sticks, the only guaranteed tinder boxes are on a table where you also get a random book item between 2, either the inmate list or the captain's orders, so that loot is illegal. And that's the moment in which I decided, if I want to win this challenge, then drastic solutions have to be taken. And that's why you won't see it, but I increased the brightness and the saturation of my PC to the maximum. You see, some areas, even without torches, are slightly visible. And if I want to use the least amount of torches possible to preserve them for later areas like the Gauntlet, then I need to take advantage of this. Don't misunderstand me, some areas were still completely dark, like the initial part of the caves, which means I will just have to learn it and deal with it. Oh, and I know you may wonder, yes, brightness and saturation at max value is able to hurt your eyes, but I think I was able to find a balance by also adding a night light on my PC PC, and this is the type of color I was watching for the whole run. Do you see this red sunset filter I got for the dungeon? And in case you were wondering, this is one of the reasons for which I decided to do this run off stream. There are gonna be huge sections where the average viewer wouldn't be able to see anything, but I also wanted to satisfy all the people that said, Frapollo, do a blind run, it's gonna be epic. Do you see what a cool gameplay this is? Man, that's some crazy good gameplay, wow, fantastic streamer. But this was not the only problem. You see, I had just a general idea about what to do for the challenge, but the more I kept playing, the more I realized my plans were falling apart. Example, I needed to access the Hexen, but to do that, I need a Purifying Talisman. And to get a Purifying Talisman, I need to get 5 silver coins to buy it from the vendor in Mahabre. There is a way to get coins early on. Just kill Torture and Bachman will give you 40 coins. Easy, right? I think you forgot we can't attack unless it's 100% success. And to get any chances of winning, we need the Hexen. I started going around in the dungeon for some time, trying to find a solution. Maybe I missed something. Maybe there was a crazy item that I was forgetting. But unfortunately I see no way to win. Maybe this challenge is impossible. Nah, let's be real, you know how long the video is, you're not falling for this bait. Yes, there is a way, and it's connected to the reason for which we took the longsword. There is a whole scrapped recording where I took the iron spear, and once I realized this, it was time to replay it all, baby! Why do we have the longsword? Because now we have a single-handed weapon we can give to Legard. Why are we interested to do that, though? Legard inherently knows a skill called Leg Sweep, and in case you don't know, Leg Sweep is able to instantly destroy all the doors you can enter into a fight with. And there is a very specific one, in the prisons, which leads you to Kahara. Take Kahara and he will leave the party very soon. Before that happens, unequip the sword and the armor he has, because maybe they will be relevant later, who knows. But no worries, this is part of my plan. Now it's time to use the guaranteed small key in the torture chamber to take the girl, and use the guaranteed rotten meat in the entrance to take Moonless. Now we have 4 party members. With this specific setup, go into the infested mines and talk to Kahara. Kahara, not able to join the party, will just leave. Why did we do this? Because now, if you go to the mines, you're able to find the corpse of Kahara, and you can loot 25 silver coins! Do you know what does it mean? Now we can finally buy the Purifying Talisman from the vendor in Mahabre! It is time to rush to Mahabre. Remember, we have Leg Sweep to destroy the doors and reach the time machine to enter into Mahabre safely. Also be sure to enter while staying on the right, otherwise Enki will turn into a Mariage and Ragnavald will be infected by a flower. But now let's buy the Talisman and 1 Elixir of Mind, because I feel like I may need it eventually. And since we are here, we quickly go into the Grand Library to take 1 extra Soul Stone from near Valtail, and I made one difficult decision. You see, I have 4 people in my party, and I have a very limited amount of food for now. I feel like I won't be able to satisfy everyone. I feel it's better if we leave someone behind. Is there a responsible parent around here that is able to take care of the girl? Oh, that's not a responsible parent, but I guess that will do. Alright, the girl is parked there until we go back and take her. Before leaving, remember to use a soulstone on Jean's body and to loot for 2 extra blue vials. And while going back, pass through the infested mines because it's time to join the wolf masks. And now back to the surface, it's time to increase your affinity with Olmir and by joining the bunny masks with Sylvian. It is time. For you it was like 10 minutes, for me it was like 2 hours. But we can finally access the Hexen, and we can get the most important spell of this run. Hurting! No, I am not joking. This spell is normally very suboptimal, but in this challenge in particular, it's fundamental towards winning. Let me explain how does accuracy and evasion work, okay? All damaging skills of the player are either physical or magical. Physical skills first use the accuracy of the player, remember? The one we said was 97% at the start of the video, and also have their own accuracy, which depends from the skill. After all of this, there is also the check of the evasion of the opponent. All opponents of the game have at least 5% physical evasion. And then we arrive to magical skills. Magical skills do not use the accuracy of the player, and also have their own accuracy, which depends from skill to skill. Hurting has 100% accuracy, which means, unless an opponent has magical evasion, we can actually start killing enemies. Starting from the yellow mage in the mines. And here is where the combination Legard plus Hurting is fantastic. Let me explain. When you use Leg Sweep, the enemy at the end of the turn will lose balance. Losing balance gives them a particular status effect which reduces both the physical and magical evasion to 0. So let me think for a second. We have Hurting with 100% accuracy, and we have an opponent with a head with 0 evasion. This means we can cast Hurting, but not before talking and getting an Eclipse Talisman. This is gonna be fundamental in a second. And this is the first victory in the Dungeon of Fear and Hunger. And now, with the Eclipse Talisman, we can take Enki in our party, which already knows Hurting. Let's go! Now we have 2 party members that can use Hurting, which means that we are still in troubles. You know, Hurting costs 40 mind, and we have a grand total of 0 mind-restoring items for now. So I decided to use the Book of Enlightenment we got to save the game now. Change of plans, it's time to go to the Grand Library, trigger the Blood Portal in there, and go back to level 1, because it's time to have a nice chat with Isaiah. In fact, by using the last remaining amount of mind on Legard, we can use another Leg Sweep. And after that, Hurting on Isaiah's head is enough to finish the battle. With this victory, we get map number 1 and map number 2. The most important one for now is map number 1, which gives us, if used in a precise spot in Mahabre, Scroll of Transmutation. With the Transmutation and with the blue vials we got from Jeanne, it's time to go to the Salmon Snake Pool for one final step of the combo. It is time to perform the Jesus Loop. I'm gonna explain it briefly for those who don't know about it. Basically, Transmutation, for 15 mind, turns a water vial into a wine vial. Wine vial restores way more than 15 mind, like 40 or 50. In the Salmon Snake Pool, you can fill infinitely your glass vials with water. So I guess you already understand how this goes. Take a water vial, transform it into a wine vial, drink it, and repeat the process until everyone in the party is almost fully healed in mind, and we still have some wine vials in the inventory for emergencies. This, my guys, is the Jesus Loop. Back in full force, it's time to finally go to the Tower of the Endless, where we can unlock the Blood Portal, and most importantly, we finally have access to a reusable, guaranteed 100% save spot. Now, what we have to what is that meat pie for Apollo? Are you cheating? Are you a cheater? No, guys, let me explain. I had to reach the Salmon Snake Pool completely in the darkness, because I don't want to consume torches, okay? Remember the conditions in which I'm playing. And while clicking around to see exactly where the pool was, I accidentally used a debug spot that is present in the Salmon Snake Pool room. This spot gives you a meat pie. I find it so funny that even without wanting to do it, we actually triggered a debug spot, honestly. But no worries, we are just not gonna use it, but it's gonna stay in the inventory as a good luck charm. By this point it was already late, I decided to go to sleep and to continue the next day. And we are here once again. The first thing I want to do today is to start using my one remaining torch in order to do some test runs to see what else should I do now. I wanted to be sure I didn't miss anything else useful, especially because the next step is to recruit Ragnavalder in the thicket, using the guaranteed explosive vial we found in the infested mines. And after a couple of experiments, I found something that potentially is gonna be useful, but we're gonna discuss it later. First of all, let's go to my boy Ragnavalder. There is just one small opponent that separates us from Ragnavalder, but now it's time to blow your mind. This is my favorite interaction in the game, and it's the first time it actually becomes useful. The torso of the Jagged Joe has exactly 350 HP. How much damage does Hurting do exactly? I love this game. The thicket itself was kinda problematic. Fortunately, the first level, which is the one in which you cannot see absolutely anything, was also the easiest one to maneuver. Instead, in the level of Ragnavalder, you were actually able to slightly see what's present, which means we're able to reach Ragnavalder and collect our final party member. Ragnavalder is fundamental for this run to work. You see, he starts with Warcry, which is basically pheromones but on himself, and you may say, wow, that's terrible, just use pheromones. You know what's the problem? Pheromones has 95% accuracy, while Warcry has 100% accuracy, which means we can't use pheromones, but we can use Warcry. Good job Ragnavalder for having one utility in this run. Now that Ragnavalder is here, it is time to prepare for Valtail. Yeah, I decided the best possible option for now was to defeat Valtel as soon as possible, and you will understand why after we defeat him. At this point we take a little detour in the first level of the dungeon, also defeating a random guard, because there is one precise spot in this locked door right here, with one guaranteed blue vial. It is not guaranteed in all the first level layout of the dungeon, but since we called our character Set D, we are always gonna have this conformation, therefore allowing us to always get it. Which means we have one more glass vials for our wine vials for the Jesus loop. After using another Lesser Soul, we are finally able to take Loving Whispers to finally have a consistent way to heal our party members. Also, by this point I realized something. Orange Vial is useless for our run. So we enter into a battle with a door in the prisons, and we consume it to get another glass vial. After all of this, we go to the Salmon Snake pool to refill our supplies one last time before Valtail. Everything is ready. The strategy is pretty simple. Ragnavalder is gonna be the tank using Warcry, having the Eclipse Talisman equipped, while Darcy is gonna use a fast attack to have double turns to maybe heal Ragnavalder every now and then, and talk to Valtail in order to always give the correct response. This will deal 500 damage to all Valtail parts every single turn. Combining this with the additional damage guaranteed from Enki, which is basically 2 hurtings in the battle, will allow us to deal a lot of damage to Valtail. As you know, the biggest problem in this battle is that if the battle goes on for too long, Valtail will cast with the third eye Whispers of Gro-Goroth, which basically will kill a character after 5 turns. And no, I'm gonna dismantle a myth. Using a Purifying Talisman against Valtail does not stop Whispers of Gro-Goroth. It only works against Gro-Goroth. So this basically means we are on a clock to defeat Valtail, but fortunately, the damage is enough, and you're able to take our victory. One turn before the demise! Okay, I could have adjusted something like doing more hurtings by having more wine vials if I wanted, but yet, we did it! Yes! With all of this done, it's finally time to go back to the Tower of the Endless and save our game. Why did we kill Valtail first, you may ask? It's very simple. Killing Valtail gives you the Enlightened Soul, which gives you access in the Hexen to the Enlightened skills, and we care in particular about Greater Blood Magic. Greater Blood Magic tends to reduce the cost necessary to cast some spells. In particular, Hurting goes from costing 40 Mind to costing only 10 Mind. Now finally we will be able to cast Hurting without pulverizing the whole alcohol resources of the dungeon. Once again back to full mind, it's time to go to the Temple of Torment, not to fight Chambara, but to collect 2 guaranteed Soul Stones. One will be used to get Healing Whispers from the Hexen, the other one will be used to collect the soul from the Salmon Snake, which means it's time to kill the Salmon Snake. Honestly, I was not too scared even during the actual run. In fact, as I said, so the problem here is we cannot kill the eye, because the eye has magical evasion and we cannot remove that. But we can just not care, we have a tank, we can just attack the torso and we're gonna win. Yeah, even if Ragnavalder gets damaged, we're able to deal 700 HP of damage using both Darcy and Enki each turn. And the Salmon Snake torso has less than 1500 HP, which means it's gonna die very soon, very easily. And just like that, the Salmon Snake soul is ours. And also, we can skin the Salmon Snake to get the Salmon Snake meat. That's fantastic, we have more food to cook, right? And we need a tinderbox to light up a bonfire, and if we eat it like this, there is a chance it poisons us. So no. And after passing through the mines for the 7th time, I finally got a brainwave. Wait a second. But I can kill the Night Lurch. Yeah, I can do that. But I forgot about the coin flip. Because of that, I had to reset, refight the Salmon Snake, very easy honestly, and now let me say it again. Wait a second, I can actually kill the Night Lurch, wow, crazy! And of course after that, Jesus Loop. Why did we take the Salmon Snake soul? I mean, first of all, because it's busted. Second of all, because it's time to defeat the Skin Granny. Also, yeah, as you can notice, I accidentally clicked again on the debug spot of the meat pie. Now we have 2 meat pies, but remember, we will not use them. Since we're talking about food, by the way, I want you to notice how constantly some of my party members have very high hunger. Does that impact our gameplay in any way? Not really, because the only one important, Ragnavalder, is completely fine, which means he has 100 body, which means he's the best tank we could hope for. But you know, more food is always appreciated, and since we found a bone, so... No worries, very soon it's gonna happen even to the others. But let's fast forward a little bit and let's go into the dream. Our strategy for the Skin Granny is very simple. Ragnvaldr has the Iron Mask, so Face Rip will not impact him in any way, and the Salmon Snake Soul to protect himself against the critical state. The rest doesn't really matter. On the first turn we set up Fast Stance with Darcy and we prepare Legard, because on the turn after that, Legard is able to use Leg Sweep to destroy the leg of the Skin Granny and one of the arms she has. I found it was simpler and faster to just spam hurting and greater hurting on the torso instead of destroying all the single arms, while in the process Ragnvaldr keeps guarding to reduce the damage to minimum. Gotta be honest, usually my challenge runs the Skin Granny is a nightmare. This time it was one of the easiest battles of my life. And then, say it with me, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, Jesus Loop time! But not before doing something else. Yes, the moment has arrived. It's time to bonesaw everyone's legs, except Darcy, of course. In case you don't know, characters don't really care about losing only the legs. I mean, legs are not used for anything on the party members except for the main character. So sawing them off gives access to extra food for completely free. I don't know, I have no idea about how good Enki legs can be, but honestly, if they eat them, I'm gonna be fine with it. I really feel like before doing Chambara, I should get a better armor for Ragnvaldr. Maybe the Gaunt armor? Wise words, Frapollo, wise words. While going to the Gaunt Knight, I also accidentally start a battle with the Black Witch, but I don't know if you know this. Leg Sweep is able to cut off both the Black Witch arms, basically making her useless. So after that we can just hurting the head and it's Jover for her. And the Gaunt Knight was pretty easy too. One single hurting is able to destroy one arm, while the other loses the sword. Then Legard does Leg Sweep and we can start hurting on the head. Easy peasy Gaunt armor obtained for our tank. We also make a little detour to take the second treasure from the map number 2 of Isaiah, which is in the Grand Library in the present, which is 70 silver coins. Because I have a realization. The next battles we're gonna do starting from Chambara have the potential to last for quite a few turns. And since some of our mind may be devoluted into healing Ragnvaldr, we need a passive way to restore mind during the battle. That's why 50 silver coins are gonna be used to buy the Sorcerer's Stone. Sorcerer's Stone heals 10 MP every turn to a character, which means Darcy now is able to consistently cast one greater hurting for free. We quickly take the husk in the secret laboratory, we put it on the chains, and now it's time to go against Chambara. The first phase is more a setup phase than anything else. Fast attack on Darcy, Ragnvaldr uses Warcry, and the others just stay there, I guess. But the best part is second phase, where I have another trick up my sleeve. Are you ready for the most important part of my strategy? The first circle does not have magical evasion, so we don't care about the gimmick. We can just go and roll it. That's right, the most problematic part of Chambara fight is the fact that you need to constantly jam the wheels to attack him, but we don't need to jam anything with hurting. Honestly, I was expecting this to be much harder in my mind, but Chambara wasn't even able to bring Ragnvaldr to critical conditions. I did not need to heal him once, and it's already over. Easy! Didn't even need to heal once! And you know what does this mean? We can access the Void, because Francois is legitimately the easiest boss fight of the game. While going back, despite it not being necessary, we also face the White Angel. I think it's one of the first times in my life where I don't defeat the White Angel by attacking the heart, but by attacking the torso. Oh, by the way, did you know that White Angel arms have exactly 700 HP? Wait, 700 is 2 times 350. Wow. After that, it's a joke of a boss fight. Things were going surprisingly well, right? Huh. But as I said multiple times in other challenge runs, remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer. Also, despite my hate for the nameless figurine, I was able to do one strategy I never thought I would have used. If you use Leg Sweep in this fight, you deal 200 damage to both the arms. That's a very unique interaction from Leg Sweep, and since we need damage on the arms of the boss, we are gonna use it every single turn we can. But apart from that, the nameless figurine is a moron. Our road completely opened, we go back for a second to the Tower of the Endless to save and to perform the Jesus Loop. This is the point of no return. We are gonna use this save file to do all the different endings available. We are gonna go through them in the exact order in which I did them, starting from ending B. While going through the dungeon, we already killed all the purple organs, and now we can kill the last one in the Golden Temple in the present. That done, we go back to the vendor in Mahabra to buy 2 Elixir of Mind and 1 Purifying Talisman. The Purifying Talisman is fundamental to disable the insta-kill attack of Gro-Goroth. The plan is simple. We have 1 torch and 1 Book of Enlightenment that we took from the Hall of the New Gods. What we are gonna do is enter the gauntlet using our 1 torch and use the book before fighting Gro-Goroth. And this was not easy. The gauntlet is a nightmare. Even a single mistake leads to a battle with a Moonless Guard where you have to consume a lot of resources to win. And those spikes. Those stupid spikes. I can guarantee you, it doesn't matter if they are under the floor, you are gonna take damage. Like, look at this. Like, what? Did I really walk on them? So yeah, after a couple of failed attempts, this was the best run I was able to gather. Not the best conditions ever, but I'm gonna take it. After refilling ourselves, I thought about the plan. We are gonna wear the leather vest. In case you don't know, the leather vest offers a very low amount of physical protection, but a decent protection against fire attacks. And Gro-Goroth always has a chance to cast Burning Gaze, an AoE fire attack. For the rest, the party is mostly the same. With everything prepared, and with the book used, it's time to go. We are focused by Whispers of Gro-Goroth, which is already very bad, and I wanted to reset, because it deals around 30 mind damage. But the eyes spawned in some convenient positions, so I decided to continue. Legard can use Leg Sweep to destroy those 3 eyes in one single attack. Darcy Fast Stance, Ragnavaldr Warcry, and Enki uses Hurting on the last remaining eye. One crucial factor during this battle was also knowing when to use the blue herbs and red herbs I have in the inventory. Since Legard and Enki have nothing to do for the rest of the fight, they are the main users of these herbs. We need to very safely manage our mind between Healing Whispers, Greater Hurting, and these herbs, because Gro-Goroth has 6000 HP, and since we deal only 350 damage with each attack, I think you know this battle is gonna be very long. We can also take advantage of the cloth fragments we gathered, in order to heal the bleeding from Darcy, which was infected on the very first turn before Ragnavaldr used Warcry. By this point of the battle, there were no more eyes, so all that really matters here is to understand, do we have enough time to be able to deal enough damage to win, or no? During the battle itself, I was too scared and tense to actually take count of how many hurtings I did. The battle went on, and on, and on. Until at one point, I had no more mind-restoring items. Do I really want to consume 30 mind to use Loving Whispers on Ragnavaldr, or do I just keep casting Hurting? The duration of the battle was almost 10 minutes at this point. I was starting to be scared. Is this impossible? I was starting to doubt. I finished mind, I finished the item that restore HP, I finished the items that restore mind, everything! Let's go! But of course, even by doubting, we are still able to succeed. Ending B is possible with the only guaranteed stuff, using only attacks that will never miss. I felt very confident after this. Gro-Goroth, in my mind, was always the hardest obstacle in any challenge run. But oh boy, I was not prepared for what was gonna come. But for the time being, let's celebrate for some time. The next day, still very confident, we quickly went to Francois and killed it. You just talk and slowly kill both the arms and then the torso, or the head if you want. Give our regards to Legard, because he's gonna depart to a better place. Go to do the Jesus loop, and go back here with 6 meat pies in the inventory, because I think I accidentally clicked that spot more. And welcome to the Void. It's here that the nightmare begins. What? You thought Gro-Goroth was gonna be the biggest obstacle? What I did not keep into consideration was that in here we have to face 2 bosses back to back, Sylvian and the Yellow King. But let's start from the beginning. We take all our party members and find our way to the Green Who. In the process I was also happy because in Ragnavaldr's spot there was an already burning bonfire, so we are actually able to cook salmon snake meat and eat. We use our Book of Enlightenment and prepare our strategy. But I don't even know how to describe to you the 3 hours I passed on this boss fight. This boss is a pain from the very starting turn. If she entangles Darcy, it's Jover. If she doesn't, and she entangles someone else, then you have to hope and pray that she does not attack with too many tentacles each turn. Otherwise, you're gonna spend turns healing your party, and by that time, the tumor is already developed. So now not only you have the tentacles, there is also someone else that tries to kill you. Her damage bypasses every possible protection you may have also. So we can't really use Warcry with Ragnavalder until we defeated a good amount of her tentacles. We don't have Leg Sweep, the Soulstones are finished, and I swear, even if I create the Blood Golem, she does everything possible to ignore him and just attack the other party members. But you wanna hear the funniest thing? At one point, I was actually able, while being blessed by the RNG, to actually kill all the tentacles. She had the tumor of Kahara in that moment. And you know what I did not realize? That by doing this, she was gonna cast Color from the Unknown every single turn! What does Color from the Unknown do? It reduces your mind by over 30. We cannot attack, we cannot deal damage, we are at the end of the battle, and we cannot win, we cannot deal the damage because we have zero mind, we can't cast hurting. Are you making fun of me? Is this what hell looks like? I spent so much time on this stupid battle that just thinking about it gives me nausea. And I know some of you may say, well, actually, if you started with Enki, now you could have a Locust Swarm, which could stun all the tentacles and give you more time. Yes, Locust Swarm costs 35 mind. Imagine being able to manage your mind while also trying to keep some items for the next battle, because remember, after Sylvian, we have to do back-to-back Yellow King. I kept trying, on and on and on. At one point, I was so tired of this that I went back for a second and took the girl instead of the Blood Golem. Maybe if I use one less turn to do something else, and I just focus on using a hurting on the tentacles, there is gonna be a better outcome. Also, if I have more party members from the starting turn, the damage has the possibility to be split more equally. And last but not least, the girl has the ability to protect a character with a yellow HP from physical attacks. Also, by this point, I stopped using the Book of Enlightenment when arriving near Sylvian. If I really want to have a chance at getting the ending C, I need to keep it for after Sylvian. Yeah, every time I die, I have to redo the whole staircase, the whole road to the temple, the whole corridor, everything. Is this funny? Probably this is my least favorite part about the run, but also, it's my fault. If I hadn't used the Book of Enlightenment previously, I could have had 2 books here, so I could have saved before Sylvian and after Sylvian. That's what I get for being a coward, I guess. But eventually, after many tries, some of which died after a couple of minutes, I got this attempt. Honestly, it was not one of my best attempts. Actually, Enki died, which made me already pretty sad. But the tumor was Ragnavalder. If you don't know, Ragnavalder has the chance to either attack or use a coin flip attack. Because of a bug, the coin flip is done by one of the small tentacles. If you kill that small tentacle, Ragnavalder basically has a chance to completely skip a turn. Then we don't kill the last small tentacle, because, we know what happened with Color from the Unknown previously. We had a chance to reach Yellow King with 3 party members, but unfortunately, Sylvian had different plans. Of course, she had to take the girl too. Exactly 1 turn before her demise. Okay, listen. We can be happy, but not too happy. Okay, calm down. We have 30 mind, 38 body, and 1 body on Ragnavalder to deal with the Yellow King. I used that 30 mind to use Loving Whispers of Ragnavalder, and then it was time to use the last Book of Enlightenment. I was trying to think if there was something else I could do, if I could change some setups, but I was too tired by that moment. I just said, screw it, we ball. Are you ready, guys? And that's ending C, baby! I mean, I never told you I would have gotten the ending C in which I fight Legard. I just told you I would have gotten ending C, you know? Nah, okay, sorry, it was just a joke. Don't unsubscribe, okay? Let's go to the actual fight with Legard. This fight is miserable. We have literally nothing else we can do. We finished everything. All the mind restoring items, all the health restoring items. Everything we can do is to use fast attack, use Warcry on Outlander, and pray that Legard will always use Summon Asterisk instead of Black Orb. The funniest part is Healing Whispers, of which I usually make fun because it's only 70 HP recovery. Here, actually had the potential to be kinda annoying. It's done passively every turn, and in 5 turns it basically nullifies one of my attacks. And since we can do only 1 attack per turn, it basically means that it makes the battle last by 1 more turn overall. But you know, during this moment there was something I found really funny. How am I still alive exactly? No, okay, I swear I'm not cheating, okay? This is a 7 asterisks in a row. I think that's a 50% 7 times, like what kind of probability is that? What? Yeah, just for the record, 7 times a 50% in a row is 0.7%. Are we really gonna first try the Yellow King? 7 8 aster? No, wait, at this point, let me actually check if there is something wrong. No. Before people say something is... No. Where is the Yellow King? This is what I am seeing. So, the torso... No, Black Orb and Summon Asterisks. Are we being so lucky? If we keep going like this, there is really the possibility we win. Please. Ah, there it is. No. Of course, now that I show you the game files, Legard remembers he can actually use Black Orb. Yeah, fantastic, very cool, awesome. But not everything was lost. Ragnavalder still had 2 HP remaining. He was clinging onto life with all its forces to beat Legard. You know, there was something poetical about Darcy, the person who trusted Legard the most, and Ragnavalder, who wanted revenge on Legard, being together in the worst conditions possible, ready to fight the Yellow King. But unfortunately, you don't always get what you want. Right, Ragnavalder? This death demoralized me a lot. At this point, I was not confident anymore despite all the luck we got. Now, even with the best RNG ever, I don't think no, it's over. Unless all the asterisks decide to attack the Blood Golem in this turn, it's Jover. Oh, another Summon Asterisk. Oh, really? Do we get another turn? Nah, at least 3 asterisks are gonna attack me. There is no way they don't. Guys? Huh? Please tell me this is the last hurting, please! No! I cannot... I cannot upload this! Everybody's gonna say, oh, you cheated! No! Everybody's gonna say I cheated with this! No! Let's go! Okay, let's be real. I took some time to calm down. I didn't deserve this win. I did not deserve this win. I had 0 items remaining. I had only 2 party members. I had no mind. No, I did not deserve this win, okay? I don't know what kind of new god was watching me or old god was watching me to give me this blessing or something. But really... I do not deserve this win. We take the victory, we take the ending C, so we can also, you know, finish the video. But I did not deserve this win. I am pretty sure there could have been more consistent strategies for this fight, especially after Sylvian. But unfortunately, I had to work with what I had, and this is what happened, like... Fantastic. Yeah, as I said in the video, I am pretty sure if I put more mind into it, if I spent more time planning the run instead of just going in and deciding on the spot, I feel like there could have been better strategies. For example, I could have started with Kahara, because in some ways I'm able to get fast stance by stealing from Isaiah, and later I can also steal from Valtail, so I can get more soul stones to maybe have a better plan, maybe get leg sweep in there, so Sylvian becomes a little bit easier. But anyways, this was ending C. And now there is one last ending we have to do. No, I will not do ending D, because ending D is basically ending C without Legard. Don't care, don't ask. Let's go to ending A. we reach the end of the gauntlet. This time with the girl in our group. And in there, we sew off all her limbs. Listen, the others need to eat, okay? After refilling our hunger, we are all ready for the final boss fight. Imagine how weird must it be in-universe. There is no light in this moment, but we are supposed to be seeing the girl watching in the darkness. It's all darkness in this moment. Where are you going? I don't think we even need to say anything about the first phases. The important parts were fast attack on Darcy, we summoned the Blood Golem, and Ragnvaldr, who used Warcry, got poisoned. We arrived to the last phase, and I realized in a second that I made a mistake. You see, the God of Fear and Hunger has 20 agility in this last phase. And if someone has an agility more than 50% higher than the average of the opponent's agility, then they get an extra turn. In this moment in my party, Darcy has 20 agility, the other 3 members have 10. The average is like 12.5. So summoning the Greater Blood Golem caused the challenge to become even harder, because now the God of Fear and Hunger is gonna have always an extra turn during this battle. I die in a couple more attempts in the process while experimenting other stuff, and then once again, we finish in one of those situations where I have no more items to do anything. Should I spend more mind to heal Ragnvaldr, or is it better if I just give up on him? I gotta say, with this challenge, Ragnvaldr gained all my respect. He sucks as a main character, but for this kind of stuff, he kept burning in flames every single turn to give us more chances to damage the opponent. And the leather vest he was equipping was from Kahara, the one we killed at the start of the run, the one who gave us the money to even start opening the Hexen. Kahara and Ragnvaldr are the real heroes of this challenge. Now that we are only 2 party members, we can actually summon the Blood Golem and pray that maybe, just maybe, we can find hope in this dungeon. Let's go! Yeah! I love how this boss fight is very easy. Anywhere else, in this challenge in particular, it was a nightmare. And that's the end. We were able to get all the non-hard mode endings without random loot and without relying on attacks that can miss. Sure, someone will say that to do it, we instead had to rely on enemies not attacking or attacking poorly. Yes, we did. I personally don't even think for now that this challenge is actually doable if the opponents always do their worst attacks like Black Orb on Yellow King, or if we add other things to the mix like we give 100% accuracy to all enemy attacks. Honestly, this was not what I wanted to prove today. I actually don't even remember what I was wanting to prove. If anything, I was the one to learn a lesson from this. The dungeon is even more forgiving than I thought. When I approached this challenge for the first time, I thought it was gonna be impossible. Being able to defeat literal gods with these restrictions, despite how much RNG we got, it still seemed an impossible task to me. If anything, with this challenge, the dungeon appears even easier to my eyes. And maybe there are even deeper limits we can reach with the future. Maybe the hard mode endings can be done with this. But for now, my eyes are completely destroyed by having to play with those brightness and saturation setups. I am so happy this is over because I was legitimately losing my eyesight. And now, every time you hear someone complaining about the bad RNG you get with loot, or about the missing attacks, you can show them this video, and remember that there is only hope in the Dungeon of Fear. But anyways, let me know in the comments what you think about this challenge. If you liked it, also be sure to leave a like and subscribe, because that's gonna help me a lot. But anyways, I was Rapolo94, and I will see you next time.